Hi-ho, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Arts and Crimes. I'm your host, Kermit D. Frog. Not really. We have our usual hosts of Kelly, Josh, and Brandon. Take it away, guys! Yay! All right, really thanks, Kermit. Boy,
that was amazing.
Is it good to be on this side of the mic, Kelly. Whew. So much power. Okay, so today we're going to go over the Dark Crystal. Well-prepared podcast by yours truly. But first, we should do our week check-in, right?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll go first because I am including listener mail in mine because it has to be included in this episode.
It has to be in this episode?
Yeah, because it pertains to it.
Oh, okay.
Or at least mentions it. Anyway, so we got a listener mail and it's from Frank. He did not ask to be anonymized.
Mm-hmm.
So Frank, and he says, great pod. Only one question. If Brandon fails to create the Dark Crystal episode before the end of the year, will he get to take a ghost tour of the Shanghai tunnels with no shoes on? Either way, it's a win-win for everyone. P.S. Thanks for the great pod.
All right.
That was so cute. Good news is you're doing the Dark Crystal today.
Yep.
Even
No
better
danger.
news, we're still doing the barefoot ghost tunnel tour. That's a great idea.
That is such a good idea. I really think it would be so fun to do a ghost tour of the Shanghai tunnels and record it for the pod. I think that would be so fun.
Maybe.
The trick would be getting all three of us in Oregon at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks, Frank.
So Frank, if we can, we'll try and get him down there with no shoes.
I will take his shoes off by force.
But you also get the Dark Crystal, so here it comes.
Which makes it the most legitimate Shanghai tunnels experience, having your shoes removed by force.
Yeah, you're so lucky.
They would be just like the poor people that were sold into slavery.
Yeah.
So, you know.
What an authentic moment.
Maybe I'm not going to do that. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so there's that. And then my week check. Here's my week check.
Okay.
I got a Mac computer, which I've been using a HP this whole time. And look, I don't want to say I'm a Mac girly now, but I do really appreciate how easily Mac speaks with Adobe Audition for all of the editing of the pod. So I will say that.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yes, excellent.
There
You've
we
got to
go.
get an Apple tattoo now.
Yeah, tramp stamp.
Yeah, Apple tramp stamp.
Yeah. If they pay me and they let me join their pod.
Yeah.
Which, the Adobe Audio Pod or the Mac Pod? Or
Apple.
What pod?
Apple's pod.
Apple's pod.
They have
Yeah,
one.
I'm sure they have one.
Tim Cook hosts it.
All right.
So, if they pay for it and they
Then you'll get
then,
your Apple tramp
then
stamp.
I'll get my Apple tramp stamp.
It's an excellent marketing
Pretty
opportunity.
intense.
They would be foolish to pass it up.
Yeah, really. I mean, with a big name like Arts and Crimes, they'd be pulling in.
Yeah. It's a lot of exposure.
Yeah.
On the lower part of your back.
Yeah, so there you go. That's my week check.
Okay. All right. Do you want to go next or do you want me to?
You go ahead.
Oh, man. So I don't really... I've been getting this pod ready or whatever. And it doesn't feel like too much has happened in my life. So as I was coming over, I was... okay. So I worry that my voice is going to be weird in the mornings because we're doing the pod in the morning. So sometimes...
Pod in the mornings.
Yeah. So sometimes I will put on music that I know is hard to sing with to try and really force my voice to wake up as soon as possible.
I don't. I literally rolled out of bed when you said you were on your way.
Well,
By the end of the pod, I'll
different
sound
strokes.
normal. Yeah.
It didn't work. I'm still coughing. Trying to clear my throat.
What was your go-to song?
Lifeline by 3 Days Grace.
Oh.
I don't think is that from one of their later albums?
Probably.
He doesn't like their old stuff.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, their old stuff is not good.
Their second album is their best one.
I'm going to need to fact check that. I don't know, but they got a new singer, and I just enjoy what they're creating with him a lot more.
Really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
personally.
Interesting.
So, which makes it hard to listen to 3 Days Grace on a streaming service because they mix. Yeah, right.
Stuff you don't like as much.
Anyway, Lifeline is a great song. It's hard not to get a little teary singing with that song.
Aww.
It's very good.
I don't know it. I'll have to listen to it.
All right. Anyway,
Can you hear Ein
yes,
snoring?
I can absolutely hear Ein snoring.
The dog is snoring, so if you can hear it on the mics, I'm sorry.
So,
But we can't possibly wake him.
Yeah, no. You let sleeping dogs lie.
Yeah, that's the rule.
So
True.
So different services will give you like a breakdown of your year. And so while I was in Amazon Music, it gave me my recap. And I thought maybe that could be my check-in, was to talk about my year. Though I don't know exactly what from it I should divulge.
whatever you feel comfortable, Brian.
Oh, man. So many things.
Like that Your Idol was in your top 5 songs.
Yes. Was it?
I divulged
Was
it.
it in? Oh, wait. Did you watch my recap?
No.
Is that true?
I just watched that thing you
Was
sent.
Your Idol in my top 5? In my top 5.
In my top five.
Mario was in my top of 5.
Well, it was when you sent this picture previously. It's number 5.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's right. Your Idol by the Saja Boys.
The Saja Boys. You're a Saja boy.
I don't know.
One of your AI bands is in your top 10.
I know. Look, I listened to him a lot before I realized he was AI. Okay? Yeah. Was it?
When the AI robot wars come, I'm going to remember this, and I'm going to turn you over to the Earth Humanity Protection Force.
They might. The
He's
AIs
an
will
AI
support
sympathizer.
me. Yeah. A little bit, maybe.
This is really fun to be on this side of the mic. I gotta
Just
be
to
honest.
be making
Yeah.
chaos.
Get your guys in line. Here we go. So, I don't know. I guess I just break down some facts and see if those are interesting. I listened to
me with the
6,686 minutes of music.
6,000.
Is that a lot? Yeah, I don't
No,
know. I think it's
I-
probably not a lot.
Yeah,
I
that's
had
not-
I had over 33,000.
Oh my goodness,
I
Kelly.
had 14,000.
14,000. So you guys consume so much more music than I do.
Although, did you switch to Amazon partway through the year?
When did Griffin get... Can I say Griffin?
Yeah, I think we've said their names
okay.
before. So yeah, I think this
When
is
did
only
Griff get
like
his phone?
6 months of Amazon usage for you.
Okay, I guess
So you should
double the
it.
numbers.
Yeah.
I still beat you both.
Yeah, you did.
I mean, you
but
listen at school all
you
day.
have music playing like
That's
all day
fair.
or whatever. My goodness,
I do, yeah.
so cheaty.
It's not cheating. I don't have to play music.
My top genres: alternative rock, hard rock, dance and electronic, and pop.
Oh.
Yeah. So let's see.
I will only divulge this information about me if listeners request it.
Oh, really?
What about yours?
I feel like this is
My music
like a
taste.
little taste of me or whatever. So my 5th most bestest song was Trolla Buden. It's one of those like Viking tribal songs.
Oh, yeah. He had me listen to that in my...
Possum Kingdom was number 4.
Oh, that's a good one.
Your Idol was number 3.
That's less good.
It went up!
Yeah, and then You Don't Know by 50 Cent was number 2. And then my top song was God is a Weapon by Falling in Reverse.
That is a good song.
I've never
I
heard
listened to it 14 times this year.
Okay.
That's actually not that many.
That's my top song. My artists listened to is 649.
Interesting.
Yeah. I guess now I'm going to have to do this. I think this is actually really interesting.
So
Because how many did you listen to?
looking at my artists are different. What's interesting is I'm listening to the artists that I listen to. None of them, I think, made my top songs of the year.
Really?
Yeah, so number 5 is Gunship. They're kind of like a what would you call them? A synthwave band, sort of.
I love electronic music genres
Mm-hmm.
because there's so many of them, and everyone was like, "We're our own genre. We're called Micro Nuts or something." You know?
My top 5 songs. My top 5 songs are Dangerous, Emergence, Caramel, Damocles, and Provider by Sleep Token.
So you're a big Sleep Token fan.
Especially of this album.
I think it's funny that I played a Sleep Token song for you. I was like, I bet Kelly will like this stuff.
And now she's...
And you blew me away in a very short time. Like...
That I listened to it all.
You're so much more of a fan than I...
What's funny is both you and Josh played Sleep Token for me separately, having said, I bet you would like this music.
Right. How many different artists did you listen to?
649 or 39?
That's twice as many as me.
Yeah, 649.
Interesting.
Yeah, so my songs don't line up with my artists. Gunship, Daft Punk is number 4, Chevelle was number 3, Purple Disco Machine was number 2, and then Tool was my top.
Your top band?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so I listened to Tool the most at 239 minutes.
But what's the top Tool song?
I think it might have been Sober. It's on, but it's further down the list.
Yeah. Interesting.
It's funny that they're your top band, but not in your top 5.
So I think all that means, though, is that I listened to a lot of Tool songs, but not. I didn't repeat very many Tool songs. So
I don't know. So that's like you like a band, and you can just hit them on shuffle, and then. But sometimes if you like a song and maybe not the whole band, you're just going to listen to that song over and over.
Yeah, but I almost never listen to a band on shuffle.
Really?
Yeah, usually I say I'm in the mood for Tool, and so I pick a song and start it and let it play similar music. That's typically how I go about it. But sometimes I'll listen to a band on shuffle, but it is not my go-to way of
I do that
music.
all the time. Like if I'm like, oh, I just like, you know, throw Nickelback on shuffle and I'm set for days.
Yeah, you are.
All right. Anyway, I thought that would be like a little insight into the mind of Branden, perhaps.
Yeah, that's what this podcast should be.
Yes.
Arts and Branden.
Yeah.
Arts and Branden. So that's everything for us listeners.
Well, Josh has
do a little art. Don't do a little Branden.
Ooh. Now we gotta do Josh's week check.
Yeah, of course.
I have none.
Okay, moving on. No. I can make that joke because I'm in charge.
You can make the jokes.
Yeah.
That's what's been holding me back this whole time.
I listened to 845 different artists.
Oh, she beat me.
Yeah, I have
more artists, more time.
Okay, here's something that's funny that I was thinking about. Okay, I have 2 Again, I don't have a week check-in. I have observations about your week check-in. Okay, the first is, this is just funny that I think it just shows how little exposure I had to the world. So I went to Brazil for a couple of years, right? And everyone had, like, when you walk around a neighborhood, everyone had the same side gig of having a little hot dog stand. There were, like, little hot dog stands everywhere. And at the time, I was like, come on, Brazilians, be, like, creative. Open some other, like, a hamburger stand or whatever, right? Why does everyone open a hot dog stand? One of my favorite stories from when I was there is I went to a hot dog stand that also sold... I think it was caldo de mandioca or something. It was like stew, basically. Kind of like, but with mandioca, which is yucca. Mm-hmm. It's really, really tasty.
Okay.
It's like a big, long potato, basically.
I'm into that.
Anyway, so I was like, hey, I've got an idea, buddy. Can you take my hot dog and put your caldo de mandioca on top of it? And he was like... You're a madman. Why would you do this? And I was like, just do it for me. And he was like, okay. And I was like, I'll pay for a thing. He's like, no, we're just doing it. Blorp. And he blorped it on. And I ate it. And I was like, this is really good. And he just looked at me like I was the most insane person. Like, I just walked away. And he was just like, crazy Americans. Anyway, so at the time, it gave me a negative impression of the relative creativity of the Brazilian small business owner, right? Mm-hmm. But then, now, many years later, Spotify introduced Spotify Wrapped, and every single other company on the planet went, that's a great idea. We should do Wrapped. We should do YouTube Wrapped, and Netflix Wrapped, and Amazon Music Wrapped. Like, it's so insane how quickly they copy each other, and blatantly, and and they're just trying to shove it into everything. They're like, one person had one good idea about one thing, which was music. Now we're going to do it with every kind of media consumption. Like, I'm sure Amazon Kindle has Kindle Wrapped.
Probably.
And I'm just like, okay, never mind. I was too harsh to the Brazilians. It turns out that one guy who also sold caldo de mandioca was way more creative than the executives that run the largest technology companies in the world.
Yeah, there you go.
So that was just funny. It's so weird to me how something will start somewhere and then immediately spread everywhere else. And everyone just goes, oh, that's a great idea. Like ads. Like Netflix, their whole thing was like, we're a streaming service and we don't do ads. And then one guy was like, well, we're a streaming service and we're doing ads now. And then Netflix was like, you know what? That's a great idea. We should do ads too.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Anyway, so the question is, what is my go-to singing song if I want to stretch my voice?
Yeah.
And it would have to be Skin by 6 a.m. Fantastic song. Give it a listen. It's a very long where he goes, ah! He sings like a long high note, and I always love doing that.
I don't know that song.
I don't know that song either.
Anyway, that's the end of my week check-in.
Nice.
Which means
No more
It's time.
procrastinating. It's actually time to talk about the subject matter of this podcast. All right, so...
But first, a word from our sponsor.
Oh, good.
Blue coal!
All right, so I could have gone back and listened to our episode of The Godfather and like looked at the framework that we used, but I didn't. Do either of you remember like what that looked like so we can try and recreate it here? Did we talk about like did we give a summary of the movie first?
Boy,
Listen, this is your pod.
Yeah, I don't
You're
remember.
running it,
All
man.
right.
Although I did checking our like creators recap, the Godfather episode has rose in the ranks and it is now number 2.
Oh.
It's hard to beat the first one because it has the most listens because it's existed the longest, but
And because it's the natural starting point.
All right.
yeah, people shouldn't start at number 1. Start later when we figured out what we're doing, and then you can go back and listen.
For sure. Listeners, feel free to listen to this episode multiple times so that we can beat out The Godfather with the Dark Crystal.
So if that happens, then you will be in charge of more episodes.
No, it's
this
a...
episode
If this episode-
rockets
No.
to the top of the charts,
I am the 6 a.m. of podcasts. My first
quality
one
will decline?
yes. Yeah, exactly. My quality will get worse and worse as every podcast
We'll
goes forward.
only know.
I need a pod with purpose. So
This is your
I
purpose.
guess
To
if
make
you
us
can give me
millions of
another
dollars.
if you can give me another subject matter that I can really get behind, then I can put this low level of effort put into
that
this
too.
one.
All right.
Into that
Right,
next
hit
one.
us with it. I'm ready.
All right. Well, let's do a summary. Feel free to jump in. I kind of imagine, since we're all subject matter experts now
Yes.
on
We've
the
all
Dark
seen it.
Crystal,
And I
that-
watched it. I
Yeah, you
finished
did.
it about an hour ago.
So Josh has got the freshest memory of what happened. So, well, let's talk a little bit about like the summary of the Dark Crystal, right? So it starts out in maybe the most epic start of any movie ever.
Quoting the Crystal Method.
Yes. Can you? I don't know how they got the rights to that song.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So, but they got some great narrator coming in, right?
Another
world. Yeah, love it.
Another time.
Here's what's funny. Here's what struck me immediately because
Yeah.
I hadn't watched this, but I've listened to that song 100 jillion times. We just got it on vinyl, actually.
Nice.
And my kids freaking loved it. And so I was listening to it, and then I watched the movie, and in the song, it's
a little different.
It's lower and a little more melodic, right? The flow is different. And so I was like, okay, here it comes. He's going to say, another world. And then he's like, another world. And I was like, what?
There's also a part they like change the order.
Yeah.
The power of their source, right, is in the song.
Yeah.
But I think in the movie, it's the source of their power.
Yeah. It's all
They-
several
they-
parts in there are
Yeah.
switched around.
So they move it around.
That's how they got the rights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
They're like, okay, you can't sound as cool as the song, so make it a little higher and switch some of the words.
Yeah.
There's a song coming out in like 20 years.
Yeah.
Jim Henson, what a team player.
So he starts with the narration.
Yeah. Right. And so it kind of lays out that there's, I don't know, that it's setting the scene that it's somewhere else, that it's a different time. It's sort of like a Star Wars sort of start to the movie, right?
Yeah.
Galaxy far, far away. And says the crystal cracked. It doesn't really go into a lot of detail what that is or what that means or whatever, but you get brought into this castle and introduced to our first characters in this world, which are the Skeksis.
The other thing we find out from the opening intro is that 1,000 years ago, the crystal cracked.
It is 1,000. It's been 1,000 years, yes.
And created the Skeksis and the Mystics.
Does it say that specifically? Okay.
Yeah.
What's funny, Skeksis, that's how they pronounce it in the movie.
Yeah.
Right? But if you like watch interviews of these creators talking about it like a year before the movie came out or 2 years before the movie came out, they say Skeksis.
That's funny.
So it really gave me this terrible like division. Like, what do I say? The movie or the creators? I mean, they should be saying it right, but why is the movie not saying it right then? Yeah. I like Skeksis, so I'm sticking with Skeksis. So.
You know what's funny is, so I was watching the credits. The credits start with the players behind the performance or whatever, and so it's all the puppet people.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, also their voices were these other people, right? So a lot of the voices weren't done by the same people performing.
Yes, absolutely.
So it would make sense that the people that came in and did the voices afterward were like, how do you say this? Skeksis? He's like, no, it's Skeksis. He's like, I hate that. Skeksis.
Maybe that is exactly where it comes from. You're right. All right. So we get introduced to the Skeksis. They're gathering around the crystal for this like ritual, and it's not explained too much, but that they're like once more they'll replenish themselves and cheat death again is what the narrator.
Cheat death
Again.
That's what the narrator says, right? So the sunlight blasts down on the crystal and little beams go out to the Skeksis' eyes, and so we're left to assume that somehow this is like revitalizing them, which makes sense. They've been alive for 1,000 years or whatever. So that introduces the Skeksis, and then it introduces the Mystics. And so the Mystics are far away from the castle. This different group of like significantly different looking guys. I didn't really talk about what the Skeksis looked like.
Yeah, the Skeksis are like tall. I mean, they have very like bird avian features, like beakish, and
they're like vultures.
Yeah. Oh, that's a really good way to describe their face, because it is like kind of skinnish.
So yeah, like seeing them, vultures definitely comes to mind, but they didn't use vulture. Like none of the performers used vultures to describe the Skeksis.
Really?
They said they were reptilian, maybe like a bird of prey or a dragon.
Interesting.
That's how
I like that.
they describe the Skeksis.
But I also found it interesting. As a kid, I always thought it was really interesting that the Skeksis were so decorated. Like they wear so much clothes and so much decoration, and they have just like all these different like textiles. There's different fabric styles. They have different laces. There's jewelry. There's metal. There's like buttons and clasps and clip and like everything all over their clothes and stuff. That like covers most of what the actual form looks like.
Right.
Because you only really get a peek once when like later on. Versus when we like go like fast forward back to the Mystics, they like the Skeksis have really angular, like really sharp angular facial features, really angular fingers. They're like clothes reinforces those angles, and the jewelry reinforces all those angles, and it's all like harsh, and there's a lot of like it doesn't feel like it was man-made, you know. It was like, I don't know, it seems more extravagant. And the Mystics are like, they're softer colors. They're like soft browns and tans with like curved edges, like their nose is curved. They have like curving, swirling patterns, and their clothes is all very looks like hand stitched, very minimal, very like simple and down to earth.
Yeah, definitely. Right. The Mystics kind of seem like the opposites of the Skeksis a little bit, right?
There's something to
There might be something to it. Yeah.
Interesting.
But I also thought it was really interesting how the Skeksis outfits add so much more volume and bulk to their forms, right? We'll go in. Maybe we'll just say that for a little bit later as we're going through the storyline. But yeah, the Mystics, like you said, really soft. They have so they've got 2 legs, 4 arms, right? The Skeksis appear to have 2 arms, 2 legs, all right? But it's kind of hard to see exactly what's going on under all those clothes. But it leaves you wondering.
Yeah. Wearing something freaky under all Going back to the thong song.
When people see a picture of a Skeksis, they're like, I have no wonder. What's under there's zero wondering what's going on.
All right, so let's see. The Mystics have been like raising this young little creature. It's he's a gelfling. I always kind of wondered if there like is a gelfling like a small gelf, or a
like
young,
there's another thing called a gelf.
Yeah, there's a
And
gelf,
like,
and then there's
you should be the
gelflings. These are
gelflings.
young. Maybe it's a young gelf. But they never clear that up for me.
But they do
they?
later in the second edition that they remade. Do you remember the like series that Netflix did? Yeah,
So-
they're all called gelflings, including the adults and the queens
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff. So
I kind of assumed because they talk about spoilers, the Skeksis destroy all the gelflings,
Yeah.
and they
This
never
is-
say the gelfs.
yeah,
A spoiler-filled zone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're listening
it was
to
a joke. My gosh, edit that out.
podcasts. Edit my joke. Leave Brandon's. Add some laughter. Take mine away. Brandon's in charge now.
Brandon is so funny.
Thank you, Kelly.
Okay, so as I was watching it, there's a lot of obvious parallels to the Lord of the Rings, right? It's a very strong influence, clearly. And the Gelfling, obviously that's elf and halfling mashed together. And then I was like, but where did the G come from? And then I was like, oh, it's Gimli.
Yeah.
It's the Gimli elf halflings. And they were like, give me that. And it's this little guy. And he's like, very fast sprinters. Anyway.
It's like,
yeah,
it's
gelfling,
the
I was
gelflings
like-
that go swimming with little hairy women.
I was like, okay, it's an elf and it's a halfling. It's a elfling. And then they were like, well, we can't call it that. And he's like, put a G on it.
I don't get any of these Lord of the Ring jokes.
What?
All right.
It's because he doesn't watch The Lord of the Rings.
What?
I've seen each of them once, and I read the books. I don't need to watch these movies.
Yes, you do.
All right. Next week, the next podcast, Brandon is going to do about all 3 Lord of the Rings movies.
Oh my gosh.
Listen, I'll give you a kickstart. He broke his toe. All right. It's a good one for the Lord of the Rings fans.
All right.
Anyway,
I
continue.
do actually know, I believe, what you're referring to. But anyway. All right. So I think it's at this point, right? We're introduced to the Mystics. Well,
Jin.
And Daddy Mystic is dying.
yeah. He's
He's the
dying.
wisest of the mystics.
He is the wisest
That's
of
why
the
they call him
Mystics.
Daddy Mystic.
Daddy Mystic.
Jin's like, where am I supposed to go, Daddy? What do you want me to do with this crystal, Daddy?
So Jen gets called in. Yeah.
Okay, Jen gets called in. Or is it Jen?
This is
Jen.
a real taste of what it's like to be
Is
on
it?
that side
Because
of the
I'm
mic.
not over there helping keep it under control. This is worse than you experience.
All right, Jen.
Maybe. Jen.
Continue. Sorry. Listen, I'll keep her under control
All right.
if she keeps me under
I
control.
believe it's Jen.
All right. Jen,
Yes.
Yeah.
the Gelfling.
The Gelfling gets called in to speak to the wisest of the mystics.
Daddy Mystic.
Daddy Mystic, also known as Master.
Oh.
Right? That's what Jen calls him. And I don't love that the wisest of the mystics waited until he was almost dead before explaining things to Jen. They could have given him a little bit more notice.
Information.
Yeah.
I feel
as
like,
he was
though,
growing up.
As we go through the film, there's a few times where I'm like, why didn't they talk about this with Jen? Like,
Mm-hmm.
when he's like, doesn't know anything about any Gelfling history that is, like, important.
I don't know why that choice was made, right? Like maybe we'll get into it later, I think. But
I should start taking that
I
stance as a
don't
teacher.
think that the Mystics were as great as I first initially thought, and we can get into that.
If he's the wisest of the mystics, though,
Well, just because he's the wise, like,
maybe
if
it's a
you're the
low-
wisest of a group of idiots, like, you're still an idiot.
That's true.
I'm not saying the Mystics are idiots, guys, but let's leave that for later.
Okay, I had a similar thought though, because they like start walking and then they get there like 1 minute before they're supposed to at the end of the movie, and I was like, they had 1,000 years to plan this. Like,
This is
They
what they've
could've-
spent all their money on.
they could have gone to the witch lady and gotten the crystal and then gone back, and like Jen could have been like, I'll just go with you if you're going there anyway. You guys can protect me. I'll carry this little crystal. Bing bang boom.
A bit of bee, bada boo.
Yeah. Bibbidi bobbidi boo.
Yeah. Like, I understand that then the movie would be less exciting.
I
but-
also have a theory as to why they didn't do that, but I want to wait to the end.
Oh, me too.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll stop talking about the end then.
Yeah.
I feel like that also happened with the Daddy Mafia.
Daddy Mystic? What?
Godfather.
Yeah.
Daddy Mafia. Call me Daddy Mafia.
You want to be in my family? You got to kiss the ring of Daddy Muffin.
I'm sorry.
All right. So this is kind of how the whole movie is given its quest, right?
Yeah.
Is this explanation between the wisest of the mystics and Jen, and he explains that, that Jen needs to find the crystal shard, and so
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Maybe you talk about this later, but originally the film was going to have a different name. Do you talk about that?
oh, I was not going to talk about it.
You're like, because
no,
it's
yeah.
boring and lame. It
Yeah.
was originally going to be called
The-
The Journey of Jen.
It was.
Yeah.
Well, I
So-
didn't come across that fact. It was okay. Carry on.
I mean, at least that's what I read, and that's partially why they have this whole monologue at the beginning when he's like, because the same narrator that's like, another world, later he goes, just explaining whatever, and he's like, and then begins the journey of Jen, because they weren't sure what they were going to call it at the beginning.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, the narrator comes in a few
Fact check
times.
me.
Never quite as epically as that first.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
That
really let it
part.
all out at the beginning.
But
set
he does. It's funny they explain Jen. The narrator talks about Jen.
Yeah.
And he does talk like the reason that we keep calling Daddy Mystic the wisest of the mystics is because the narrator says that.
Yeah.
The wisest of the mystics lay dying.
Yeah.
That is correct.
So
the
I
alternate
thought you were
title.
going with that originally it was the chrysalis and not a crystal.
Oh,
Really?
No, I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
And it was called The Dark Chrysalis.
I think it was just the chrysalis.
Oh, okay.
But
I imagine most films go through,
quite a few
iterations. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. So the quest that Jen is given is he has to go find the crystal shard to repair the dark crystal. And he's told, do you want to make a joke or something? I don't know what's going on over there.
I'm sorry.
hey,
Oh my
Stop.
gosh, Kelly!
supposed to hold
I
you
think
to
Kelly is
account.
going to fall in love with this not hosting the podcast
I
thing.
already love it.
Oh my
this
gosh.
is really fun. No wonder you guys love this. Sorry, I'm also
It's great.
caffeinated.
It's great.
Yeah. Continue. Okay, so Jen.
He- Anyway, Jen is like such an uninspiring hero.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Because he's just like, Master, why? How do I find that? Like, just like question after question, doesn't catch on to things. I don't know.
He
Edit that out.
complains.
If
No,
you
no,
want.
I think that makes sense. Like, he complains about stuff, and he's like, I don't even like this stupid crystal, and throws it away.
It's true. I kind of liked that though in a way, and maybe this was like as a kid I appreciated it because I thought there's lots of times where I'm expected to do something or I really need to do something and I I don't want to. I don't understand. I feel like I have 1,000 questions, and I sort of like fumble through the whole thing and like almost give up multiple times, but I still am like successful in the end. And so it sort of felt like, you know, an incredibly unprepared, flawed hero can still accomplish really great tasks as long as you don't give up.
Yeah. I think that that's a fair interpretation. And I think what happened is that you took unimpressive and thought that I think poorly of Jen.
Oh.
But what I mean is, like, he's not prepared for this at all. Even though the Mystics had thousands of years or 1,000 years to try and prepare a hero, you know, he's not. He doesn't have his armor. He's not on a steed. He's not like ready to go.
They didn't teach him any karate.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a single kick or
He
punch.
is no combat training.
He literally
So-
gets taken out by weeds.
He plays a flute.
Which turns out
does come in handy
Yeah.
a couple times.
Like, so maybe that was the one thing the Mystics were like, listen,
flute
you
practice,
got to learn
buddy.
this flute.
yeah.
Yes, Daddy Mystic.
So he tells Jen that he needs to go to Agra, who has the crystal shard.
Who is the best character in the entire movie?
Frank Oz agrees.
I love her.
So, anyway, he does warn that the Skeksis are going to try and destroy him. I don't know if Jen even knows who the Skeksis are at this point. But yeah, so that's essentially, that's what Daddy Mystic explains. Get the shard from Agra, use it to heal the crystal, watch out for the Skeksis.
Follow the brighter sun for 3 days to get to Agra.
Yes. So, and thus begins the journey of Jen.
Yep.
That's almost the name of the movie was going to be.
That's the music.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Thank you.
You
Pretty
did.
good rendition.
You totally nailed that.
When I can't sleep, I will often put the Dark Crystal on in the background.
So while that is happening, the Skeksis back at the castle are gathering around their emperor, who also lays dying.
Because
And
Daddy Mystic is dying.
yeah,
Or maybe Daddy Mystic is dying as opposed to the Emperor's dying. Which
you
was
guys, maybe it's just a coincidence.
You know what? You're probably right. It was probably just a coincidence.
Crazy timing.
Anyway, the emperor does not give any words of wisdom to anybody on how to do better later in life. All he does is when someone tries to grab his scepter, snatches it back, claims that it's his, and then dies.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I'm still emperor. And then his face cracks into its own mouth.
Yeah. True.
It very visually stuck with me as a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. The creature creation there with the Skeksis, like, I feel like they put more effort into the Skeksis than they did the Mystics. I think maybe because the Mystics were softer and nicer, and they don't get as much screen time as the Skeksis do. But the Skeksis, man, they're like, there's so much texture and depth to their faces and things, and
And their clothes and their hands.
They make
their
him drool all the
expressions.
time.
Yeah. More food. More food.
Too early for
Sorry.
that joke, Kelly.
I'll take it out. Okay. So I rewound it.
But they have like very expressive faces, and a lot of it is motorized so that it can be like move from a frown to a smile, and
Yeah.
Turn that frown upside down.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
exactly.
Good.
You
You
it
gotta
going.
keep your momentum, man.
Yeah.
You're cruising.
After the emperor dies, the Skeksis need to elect a new emperor. And
I loved. Okay, I love this whole movie, but this is another part where I quote a lot from it.
yeah. Trial by stone.
Yeah, but I like to go trial by stone. That's my favorite. Because you're doing the
Chamberlain. Yeah.
Okay, here's my question about Trial by Stone.
Yes.
Explain to us what Trial by Stone is, and then I'm going to ask my question.
Oh, okay. So, there's two. So there's two of the Skeksis who feel like they should be the emperor. There's the Chamberlain, who is just such a sleazy
Sniveling.
looking, like smarmy, like oh my gosh,
And
this
he always
guy.
is going, Yeah.
with this weird little grin on his face,
Yeah.
and stuff, right? And then there's the general or the Gartham leader.
Keeper?
Yeah, the Gartham keeper, right? Who also feels like he should have the scepter and be the emperor. And so they decide to do a challenge, right? Winner takes all sort of a thing. And the Chamberlain is given the choice, and he chooses trial by stone.
You really nailed it when you said it.
Thank you. So, trial by stone, they bring in this stone.
It looks like obsidian a little bit.
Yeah, perhaps. It's like
It's
some
like
kind
not-
of volcanic rock.
Yeah, it's not as shiny as obsidian, but it's black.
Yeah. And it's on like a little cart, and it's got a couple swords there. And each of them take a sword. And you can see that the stone sort of looks like it's been whittled away around the middle of it, as it's taller. It's kind of a tall stone. And they take turns swinging the sword and hitting the stone. And what I've always believed was that the spark or whatever, the amount of destructive force that they put in is like, that's how they're determining who's winning. And so like, I don't remember who goes first. Is it the Chamberlain? I think the
Josh,
Chamberlain
you just saw it.
goes.
Who goes first?
One of the two of them.
Yes, you're right.
Good,
That's right.
yeah.
That's right. That's
Okay.
how I remember.
Thank you for
it.
clearing that up.
I'm pretty sure. I think it's the Chamberlain goes first. Anyway, there's a spark when he hits, and like so each of them have other Skeksis that are sort of supporting that they're in that camp, right?
Their bid.
Yeah. And then the general comes back, and he's got a pretty good spark. The Chamberlain winds in and like hits it really hard, and nice big spark, and he's feeling really confident.
Yeah, he like even is like holding the sword and like shaking his head.
Yeah,
like,
he's already feels like he's won.
Yeah.
And the general, and once again, like these really expressive faces, you can tell he is just furious and like wipes this drool off his chin and just smashes the stone and breaks it in half. He cuts the stone in half. And that's apparently default, you win if you break the stone.
I mean, makes sense.
So now the general is the new emperor, and his first order of business is to cast out the Chamberlain. And
Okay.
yes,
But getting back to trial by stone.
trial by stone.
It doesn't make any sense to me because he wanged it in half, and that's how he won, right?
Right.
We would assume that that's not how you win every time, because they didn't bring up a fresh, brand new stone.
Right.
They brought up a stone that clearly had been hit before.
Yeah.
And so you were saying like, oh, maybe it's the size of the sparks. Like maybe, we don't know. Maybe it's just they both hit it until one of them goes, I'm too tired to hit it anymore. Like we have no reason why. And also no reason why breaking it should make him the winner.
Oh, man.
He just ruined the trial.
I always thought it was who created a deeper cut. Is what I thought as a kid. And if you break it, that's
the
as
deepest
far as you
cut.
can go. Yeah.
Yeah. But then shouldn't someone over the past 1,000 of years have broken it already?
Maybe that's how impressive
Yes.
the general is.
I think that's what the takeaway is. Like, it's been 1,000 years, trial by stone, maybe not always used, but often enough that you can see the stone's
and
been
stuff.
whittled away. And yet, the general is the first to ever break the stone. So I think that that's why it was a default he wins, is just like no
never
Skeksis
happened.
has ever done this before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not down with the trial by stone.
Okay,
When you hire employees,
I think it's
don't do
poorly
trial by
thought
stone. You're like, your interview was really great. Now trial by stone.
We just have trial by stone left.
All right, continue.
So part of casting out the Chamberlain is to remove all of his finery, and the Skeksis immediately all change camp and support the general who's won. And so there's no one defending the Chamberlain, and he has all of his clothes and adornments and stuff torn off, right? And this is when you get to see the Skeksis form for like what it really is, and they're very skeletal and small. They look like a bird that's been plucked. Mm-hmm. And if you are observant, which I never was as a kid, you'll see that the Chamberlain has 4 arms.
2 sets.
Yeah. He's got 2 little ones.
Yeah.
That apparently supposedly used to like help hold their clothes in place and like keep everything looking nice. But they portray themselves as just having these 2 strong arms and kind of hide the little
T-Rex arms.
the little weak arms.
Which is funny because the Mystics don't. They like use them in various of the freaking, what are those called? Rituals, ceremonies.
Their rituals, they play instruments.
Yeah, using all of
all their arms are engaged.
Yeah, I've watched it a lot of times.
So
or at least the first half till I fall asleep.
I think that this was done to kind of maybe draw a little bit of a confusion for the viewer, because the Skeksis, there are similarities between the Skeksis and the Mystics, but like at first glance, one of the big obvious differences is Skeksis have 2 arms and the Mystics have 4. But there's this one spot where you can
reveal.
see, the Skeksis match the Mystics in yet another way.
Yeah.
What could it mean?
What could it mean?
Interesting.
So the Chamberlain is cast out, and Jen is on his trip. And so he comes, he follows the brighter sun for the 3 days. He sees all kinds of weird, like
New
plant
things.
and animal life. He's climbing through this mountainous area and comes across, he actually gets trapped by some
Weeds.
plants or whatever. I don't know. They suck him up.
Yeah.
And then this is their reveal of Agra.
I love her.
Agra is a great character, right? And she there's so much about Agra that is just wild. Like, she has one eye, which she can take out of her head. Because when she first comes across Jen, he's high up in the air, and she has taken her eye out and is holding it up so that she can get a good look at him.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think, and I don't know if you covered this or not, but this was a while ago that I read about Agra, that she was like the only of her species because she was born from the need for the earth and rocks to have a voice. And so she was created from that, and she's been around for centuries, for a really long time. Thousands of years.
At least 1,000 years, because she was there when the crystal cracked.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't really delve too much into her backstory.
It's very interesting.
She's an astronomer and a keeper of secrets and the keeper of the shard and multiple shards.
Yeah.
Which I don't know where those all came from.
Yeah.
But she comes across Jen as he's trying to find her, and she takes him into her observatory.
Yeah.
Right? She's got this huge mechanism built inside the mountain of planets and stars, and they're spinning, and she explains that this is how she is seeing like what will be and when the planets will align and things like that.
End of the world. Oh, the beginning.
Yeah, she's got a crazy voice and like great delivery on so many lines and stuff. So I think it's funny that she's got all of this stuff, and Jen's like, well, I'm here for the shard. And she just like has this box and dumps it out like, here you go, pick one.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know which one it is. And Jen is not sure how to figure out which shard is the right one, and has, I don't know, an inspiration, because the Mystics are all like, oh, and holding this note like they do, you know? And so he thinks maybe this is his inspiration, and he plays a note on his flute, and one of the shards glows and resonates with the note, and so that's the one he grabs. And
I always thought it was interesting that Agra reacted when he started playing the note. She goes, yes, you finally figured it out. She must have known the entire time how to identify the crystal, which one, because he picks out 3 that it might be, and she's like, you gotta hurry up, time's ticking, and he's trying to figure it out, and then she confirms for him. And so I was like, she knew which one it was. And so part of me has always been and not that I take a stance of I'm the Agra for my students, but I know the answer so many times, but if I give it to you, it doesn't mean anything. And so the wisest of the Mystics and Agra withheld a lot of information, because I think there's so much more to the journey than just healing the crystal. That's just the motivation to make the learning happen.
I mean, I think that's a great interpretation. I think I always took that scene very face value as a child and just was like, well, she had a box of crystals. But maybe she did know, and that here's a test for Jen to pass.
You know what I would love is if all the crystals were all for different chosen ones. Like there's 24 dark crystals out there, and every 2 weeks a new one comes through and is like, I'm here for the crystal. And she's like, I know, man. Here you go.
So while we're talking about Agra, this might be a good time to just interject a bit, a factoid or whatever. So when they were trying to build out this world, they really wanted it to feel like there was a world to it. And they they did a lot of research on different religions and philosophies and art forms. And some of the things that they got into, they did incorporate into these characters. And so there's a part where Agra is asking Jen like where the master mystic is, and he says that he died. And so and then her immediate response is to look around and say, could be anywhere. And they said in an interview that response only came about because of all of this research they'd done into different philosophies and religions and things. So just very interesting to me. Like a lot of effort went into Agra, along with everything, but like she's not got a ton of screen time, but she is very beloved by a lot of people that worked on this movie.
Yeah.
All right. So coincidentally, right after he discovers the crystal, it's when the Gartham attack. And I didn't mention this. Yeah.
I was just going to explain what the Gartham are, because even if you have watched the film, you might not remember all of the insane names for everything. The Gartham are like these really big crab armor like warrior things. So they're very like an animal. They're not like smart. There's not like the general is the one dictating what's going on. And they do have like big claw arms and lots of little like crab-like legs. And they even have like a crabby face, but they're like really, really big. And all black with like sort of the opalescent sheen to it a little bit. So there's like flashes of purples and blues within their shell. So,
interestingly, so the Skeksis have science. They're more based in science, where the mystics are more mystic.
Based in the arts.
Or nature or whatever, right? So the Gartham didn't exist before the Skeksis. They created the Gartham through various sciences or whatever. They developed these creatures that they then used as their like soldiers. They also created the crystal bats, which don't have a huge part in the movie. Like they're not a lot of screen time for the crystal bats, but they're these bats that like have a body that's made of crystal or whatever, and whatever the bats see that can be projected to the crystal.
I always loved when he called them crystal bats fly, search the water, search the seas, search the skies. It's like land, water, skies.
Why did this one thing need to rhyme? I guess the bats only respond to rhyme, but everybody else, they can just understand.
They give regular orders.
Gartham soldiers, go get them.
Yeah,
like, that was enough.
Maybe they were one of their first ones they made, where they're like, oh, and we'll do this like rhyme, real classic. And then after that, they're like, having to rhyme everything sucks.
Yeah. That was a bad choice.
Yeah.
No more rhyming.
We're not doing the rhyming thing again.
I forgot to mention that the crystal, like shortly after the Chamberlain had gotten shunned, the crystal warned the Skeksis of the existence of the Gelfling. I think maybe when he was in the Valley of the Mystics, they were somehow shielding him so that the Skeksis couldn't find him, but a warning goes off and the Skeksis realize there's still a Gelfling that's alive, and so they send off the Gartham. And so here the Gartham like bust in to Agra's observatory. Jen gets away, but we don't know. Like, there's fire and explosions and stuff in the background. We're not sure what happened to Agra. And so now Jen is once again just kind of like walking through the world or whatever, and not doing great. Like he's
failing.
He is really struggling to get through this wilderness. I mean, he spent all his life in the Valley of the Mystics, which is sort of deserty. There's not a lot of plant life there. So now there's this huge amount of life around him, and he's not navigating it very well, and ends up plopping into a swampy bog thing. And this is when Kira shows up. So
I just to interject again, because I know you love being interrupted.
I love it. I'm getting better at
it. So like thinking about it, I feel like there's so many things to take from this film, and I don't know, how much of it is like we put this parable style lesson in there eventually, and I don't know. But I think it's interesting just like thinking about it, where you're talking about like in the Valley of the Mystics, like maybe he's shielded, but it's like a lot less plant life, a lot less danger, a lot less to experience. And then he goes on this journey, and he's like meeting these crazy people and
a lady.
Oh my. And like
hey.
plants and animals and stuff that he's never seen. And I was like, it's sort of like if you never really leave home ever, if like you stay home and you stay in that little bubble, then yeah, you're probably going to be safe and you'll probably like feel comfortable the whole time. But like you're literally missing out on worlds of experiences. Mm-hmm. And I think that's like maybe such a little thing to like take from that, but like, all of the places that you could see and all of the things you could experience, you just can't do it if you only stay home.
Right. I think that probably Jim Henson would love that you read into that. One of the so this movie came out, and before this it was like Sesame Street and things like that, right? That was Muppets were fun children's shows. And
did this one come out before The Labyrinth?
I believe so.
Do you want me to double check?
Yeah, you can
double check.
You can double check that. So when Jim Henson talks about this project, he felt like it wasn't good for children to never be scared, and that there were benefits for there to be
The Dark Crystal did come out first.
Yeah. Okay. And I think that he also probably like the same idea where like it's good for kids to like experience fear and be scared at times in their life. I think that he probably would also really support the idea that like shielding them or raising them in a bubble is not really beneficial, that like you're keeping them safe, but you're also keeping them from so many things as well. Mm-hmm. And that's definitely what's happened to Jen here, right? He's been sheltered his whole life, and now he is just thrown in it. Mm. And he's really, really struggling to get through it. And then we get introduced to Kira. So Kira, there's the big reveal. She pulls back her hood, and oh my gosh, she's a gelfling. And she's a she. And you can, well, what's interesting is like to looking at like the interviews and stuff, the person who was working on the gelflings like talked about how challenging it was to make Kira and have her look not human and like this different thing, but that they mentioned that she needed to be pretty enough at the same time. So they were trying to create this other creature that humans would look at and say, oh, she's pretty, she's a she.
Mm. Yeah. To like still be alien, but still have enough human features.
Because Jen is a little feminine on his own.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit more. And I guess while we're talking about gender, so the Skeksis never really given a gender, and even the producers of the movie don't say they have a gender exactly. Mm-hmm. They really wanted them to feel like some kind of uncomfortable in between. And so they don't there's no gender for the Skeksis, though they do mention that the there's one that's definitely like the ornamentalist, I think is his designation or her designation, whatever, is definitely the most effeminate. Their designation, thank you, is the most effeminate of the Skeksis, who is the designer of their attire.
The fashionista.
Yeah. So, which is pretty obvious when you're watching the film. Which one
is
we're talking about?
Which they are.
I
always thought that was so interesting because I couldn't figure it out as a kid either. And I feel like that's pretty forward thinking for a 1982 film.
I feel like this film is very ahead of its time in a lot of ways. Like, not just in the tech that they're using and the puppetry, and being one of the first films that is live action with no human actors, but also in the storytelling and the type of characters that they choose to put in the film. And I think we could like talk about that after we go, because I know you've summary.
Mentioned it before, but like going back to Kira, like she's such an excellent character.
Like, she is the hero of the movie.
She's the real hero, right? And I feel like in 1982, for a character like that to be so well written was not as common.
And they kind of threw away some of the hero damsel in distress tropes. Like you already mentioned a few things about Jen that you liked, and I think that that's very, very valid. Jen has good qualities that do make him a good protagonist. But Kira comes with different qualities, and some of them often not associated with a female lead, and that really together this works out. Honestly, those quote unquote wise mystics probably would have failed if Jen hadn't come across Kira. They did not prepare Jen to be able to do this on his own. And maybe that's the point for us to learn, is that it's almost always impossible to do it on our own. But that's definitely the case here in this movie with Jen. So I wonder if it is more of a lesson that's aimed towards an American audience, because there is so much emphasis on self-sufficiency and like making it on our own here in our culture or country or whatever. But yeah, I think it's a powerful lesson that has a place to be taught, that the expectation that you can do everything on your own is unrealistic and puts pressure on like our youth and ourselves that doesn't need to be there, that shouldn't be there. Yes, Josh.
I want to go back to the gender discussion for a second.
Okay.
Because this reminded me of another early 80s film done by somebody very creative, which is Nausicaa and the Valley of the Wind by Hayao Miyazaki, which also has a very strong female protagonist, right? And Hayao Miyazaki is famous for having strong females, but what's funny is when he talks about it, he doesn't talk about it like, oh, I'm making a point of this. I'm a feminist and I want everybody. He's like, well, his reasoning, I think, is more along the lines of like, I knew strong women and I just made characters that reflected the reality that I knew, right? And like, I feel like with Jim Henson, it's a similar thing. Where to be really like, Jim Henson and Hayao Miyazaki are similar in one way, which is that they're both just hyper focused on their craft, right? And Jim Henson was puppeteering, and Hayao Miyazaki is more traditional animation, but both of them really focused on creating unique pieces of art. And I think for somebody to be creative, Stephen King, I think, is the one that talks about how you have to be an observer. You have to look around you and be curious about the world, right? And so when Jim Henson or Hayao Miyazaki or whoever makes a piece of art that shows strong women, it's not like I'm making this point. It's like the world is full of strong women. And I see the world as it really is, so I'm going to include them in my film. Whereas typical stories that are like, oh, we've got the boys saving the damsel in distress. That is the work of propaganda,
Yeah.
not somebody saying the opposite, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And it does feel, I think, and like very clearly, they're such better characters for it because they're not having to be like, well, I have agenda behind creating this character. It's just this character would have done this and she is a woman. Like that's just how it is. Which as a woman watching media, that's something that like I love those films, and I obviously love The Dark Crystal because I think it helps me feel like I've been seen.
Like you compare it to like Marvel feminism, where the point is to make a feminist message, and it doesn't ring as
it feels
as natural, right?
Yeah, it feels a little like honestly when I watched the like Endgame and they had like all the women lined up to like for that like moment, I was like, ugh. Like it feels a little pandery and like it's not genuine.
Yeah. I think that it's pretty easy to recognize when it's not the story moving forward, but it's an agenda is being pushed.
Yeah.
I also think that there's sometimes what the storyteller thinks is the solution is to create a feminine or a female lead that's sort of masculine, because that's a strong woman, but it's really not.
Or they think making a strong woman is like making her a jerk.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. So like Kira, I absolutely see Kira as a very strong female lead, but she's also clearly a female.
Yeah, she's very feminine.
I think recent history. So I think that K-pop Demon Hunters is a really good example of some strong female leads. Like they're portrayed, they're kicking butt, they're killing demons, but they're also like very girly.
Yeah.
Which
personally I love, because I love my femininity, but I also love being the strong person that I am.
Right. I think that it reflects what life really is. There are so many strong females in my life, and they're not trying to not be female. They're just being themselves and strong at the same time.
Yeah. I love the idea that K-pop Demon Hunters is like up there mentioned with like Hayao Miyazaki. I wonder what he would think about it, but I love that. So
I don't know. I think that what we've, like you were saying, like how would they feel about having K-pop Demon Hunters compared? I think Josh is right that these people were like really into their craft and telling the stories that were authentic, and that I think they would recognize the authenticity that there is behind the story that's being told by a K-pop Demon Hunter. And I don't think that they would be offended.
No, probably not.
To be
it's a great film
to put into there. Okay. So Kira shows up, and one thing I forgot to mention is that they talk about the conjunction. Yes. So like Agra talks about the conjunction and the time being short, and what that is this world has 3 suns, which is probably not possible, right?
Yes,
the 2-body problem,
the 3-body problem,
the 3-body problem. Yes.
If you read the book, you'll know they're in for a bad time.
So, but when those 3 suns align, that's the conjunction. And I think that there's an implication that happened 1,000 years ago and what split the crystal.
Right? Yeah, they say that.
Yeah. So, so the crystal needs to be repaired before the next great conjunction. And so that's just tacking that in there because I missed it.
Now he's got time.
Yeah.
Time problem.
So, what is fun is, so Kira reaches to help Jen get out of the muck that he's in, and there's a little bit of a hand wave moment here where they just like, here's a solution to our problem. And apparently, you don't know this, Jen doesn't know this, but Gelflings can dream fast, which is to like share memories over this quick sequence. It's like a montage. So there is this montage of them growing up with their voiceovers, and it's bouncing back and forth. And so you get this quick introduction to Kira, and also a little bit of seeing a background of Jen. And Jen's like, "What was that?" And
Yeah, I love daring it. He's like, "What's happening?"
Yeah.
She's like, "It's a trip, baby. Just ride."
So Kira, just she's helpful, and she's ready to be a support for Jen's quest, and she takes him back to the people that she grew up with, who are the podlings.
I love the podlings. They're so cute.
They are great, right?
Where are they called? Do they grow from pods?
So
They look like
we're going. Let's just dive into that a little bit right now.
Yay!
So the creature design for the podlings, they wanted them to absolutely represent like the earth and being part of this of the earth and the world, and just so the podlings were literally inspired by potatoes.
I love
like
it.
that's
They look like potatoes.
Yeah, they do. But that's the inspiration that was used to design the podling character.
Remember how in Muppet Treasure Island there's actually some talking potatoes?
Yes.
That
Yes.
was the culmination of his vision. He finally achieved it.
So the podlings warmly welcome Jen in, and they have like a party practically. I don't know
There's,
if this
like,
is like
music
a
and-
every night thing, and these podlings just really know how to get down.
It's very Ewokian.
Yeah.
Look at
Yeah.
how cute they are.
So and then once again the Gartham come in and wreck the place up, and Jen and
Rack up the place.
I threw that out there for you.
I took the bait. I'm very sorry to be interrupting your program, but our episode went much longer than we thought it would, and so we're gonna cliffhanger, pause here, and then we will finish the second half of Arts and Crimes Theater, The Dark Crystal, in 2 weeks. So please tune in. Sorry to make you wait. It's going to be a very fun, kind of emotional journey wrap up. So make sure you tune in. And until then, go do some art, don't do any crime, and goodbye from all three of us.
Like to pop, she was living la vida loca. She had dumps like a truck. Thighs like what? Baby, move your butt. I think I'll sing it again.
Really wish this was a video podcast at this point, just so we could capture your amazing dance move. Okay, stop that. Stop that trash.
It's so good!
It's not.
Okay.
Sorry.
This is actually one of the things that I want to talk about the Dark Crystal.
Oh, okay. Okay.
They sing the thong
Well,
song in
before
it?
we get to the thong
thong
song
song.
scene in the Dark Crystal,